and welcome back to NRI Woman, the show where we share the amazing stories of women of Indian origin living across the world. We hope in sharing these stories you're inspired, learn something new, or simply know you're not alone in the struggles you face. I'm Nanora.
And I'm Bettina. If you haven't already subscribed to the show, please can we request you to do so. It will take you less than a minute, it's totally free, but will help other people find us. And back to the show. We're thrilled to welcome a truly inspiring guest on our show today. From finding inspiration in everyday people to expressing herself creatively through dance and writing, our next guest has dedicated her life to uplifting others. Please join us in welcoming the multi-talented Shilpa Bhat. She's a software engineer, technical trainer, dancer, and author who brings compassion and insight to everything she does. Born in India, she developed a passion for dance at a young age and went on to master the classical Indian dance form Kuchipudi. She later earned a degree in software engineering but never lost touch with her creative side. She credits her parents, a retired Air Force officer and school teacher, with instilling in her a strong sense of empathy and non-judgment. These qualities have served her well as she listens deeply to uncover the unique stories of the people she meets.
I personally feel that two of the qualities, one is listening and one is observing, is required. And it is because half of your problems will vanish. Listening without interruption and having an eye for some details can actually save you from troubles. Here I would like to tell you a personal event which happened in my life. What happened was, it was during that time when the marriage proposals were coming on my way. So every day these marriage talks and all used to happen. So there was this family which came to see me for marriage discussions. You know how it happens in India, especially in case of arranged marriages. So this family came in for with which had totally 10 people around, and 4 of them were women and 1 child, and then 5 of them were 5 hefty looking men. And to be honest, first few minutes we were figuring out who actually the groom was. So it was like an exercise for us. They all looked same. So while the talks were going on, I noticed that the women, those 4 women, they hardly spoke, and nothing was being asked to them. And all they did was, whenever I looked at them, they just gave a smile. So after the discussions and all that was over, all the snacks and all that was all done. So they left saying that they will come back with a decision. And they also told that they have a list of girls that they had to see that day. So they had to finish all that list. And they said they'll get back to us. So as soon as they left, I told my mother that even if they come back, I'm not going to agree for this alliance. I'm not ready for this alliance. My parents were a little surprised and asked me what was the reason. So I said that it looked more like a patriotic system, culture that they have, more men-centered and men-dominated thing. The women hardly spoke. My parents were like, no, it could not, it's not like that. They just tried to brush away that thought of mine. And after that, the life moved on. And after 3-4 days, they called back saying that they're happy with me and they would like to proceed with the proposal. But then they said that they have some conditions. One was, I should be quitting my job after I get married, or before I get married itself. Second thing is, they wanted me to learn various cuisines, to cook various cuisines, because they have a huge family and I have to cook and feed them all. My parents, of course, knowing me, politely declined. And that evening when I came back from my office, my mom elaborated everything and told that I was right about them. So somewhere I felt that this particular observation saved me. And it was so there are many such incidents that I have in my life wherein this kind of observation has saved me from some troubles at least.
One of Shilpa's most admirable qualities is her ability to listen deeply and without judgment. She believes that listening is the key to understanding people and resolving conflicts. As a writer, Shilpa's listening skills have proven invaluable. She's able to connect with people from all walks of life and hear their unique perspectives. These conversations inspire the stories she pens in her short fiction. Shilpa is proof that being a keen listener not only enriches one's human connections but also unlocks creativity.
Writing is a hobby. Writing, I love to write. It's a kind of stress buster to me, and I put down all my emotions and thoughts on paper. Second thing is that I used to do a lot of solo travels earlier, so I used to meet a lot of people. Even otherwise, also I meet a lot of people, and then just strike some conversation with them, and then suddenly I realized that yes, there is a story where this person has a story, and I just come up with some imagination and put my thoughts into that. And most of my writings have something to think over basically. So that's how the writing as a hobby still remains, and I would like to continue. But as far as getting into technology or getting an engineering job, it was pretty straight and easy, and I was very clear about it because I love coding. And so after my 12th standard, I just applied for entrance exams and secured really good ranks, and then got into engineering college. And then after I finished my college, I was picked up by one of the top MNCs for to work with them. And it's been now 15 long years that I've been working, and I am proud to say that I've had a real good, fabulous career. I still remember once my grandma told that, take up all the opportunities that you get or that comes your way, because it's either an experience or a lesson. Don't shy away from any of the opportunities. So I took up opportunities which others had declined, which they felt that it is not going to do any good. But I took that up, and I travel a lot because of my work. I travel within India and abroad on my work. Within just 2 years of my career, I was sent to Australia for assignment. And but yeah, it was initially a challenge, but then staying alone, uh, managing everything on my own, including myself, was definitely a little challenging. But then it gave me a little more confidence, and it made me feel empowered. So I also built good network and good working relationships. Many awards, recognitions, monetary benefits, all that came my way. So absolutely no complaint about my choice of my career. As far as writing is concerned, yes, totally. I would prefer to write till I die. It's a hobby, it's a stress buster. I just pour everything onto the paper.
Beyond her professional and creative accomplishments, what makes her truly exceptional is her spirit of service. She finds joy in volunteering her time and talents to help nurture the next generation, whether it's informally tutoring students or more formally training tomorrow's engineers. Shilpa wears many different hats. She's an engineer, dancer, author, and teacher. Yet, she doesn't let any one label define her.
Since I do multiple things, so if you ask me as a software engineer, it definitely gives me immense pleasure to see my products, my designs, helping people and serving the basic need. So when I see the code that I've written is being used or reused in building a product, which is being used by the end users, so it gives me a feeling of satisfaction, immense pleasure. As a trainer, I feel really satisfied when someone comes back and says, they now are able to understand this particular concept very well. As an author, it makes me really emotional when readers write back to me saying that the stories have touched their lives, or they feel that they are connected to it. And as a dancer, I feel I'm blessed to have known and performed a particular act which keeps me closer to the Almighty and as well as grounded. Sometimes I feel these labels come with a clause. So for example, when people get to know that I am a software engineer, so they have these questions. Oh, so you must be earning in lakhs, in millions, or why don't you own a bigger car? You know, Similarly, if a person is an artist or a dancer, they expect you to look glamorous all the time, and have all that, have slim and trim figure and all that stuff. So sometimes I feel these labels will restrict you, but then uh, I'm not against or nothing wrong in having labels. We all still have it. But then, if you can be known as a person who has helped someone, or put across a smile, or at least made someone laugh, I think that makes a better, that makes you a, makes a better label actually. Without a label, it's still a label.
Shilpa motivates us to break away from the limitations of labels, recognizing that our true selves run much deeper than superficial classifications. She actively embraces a variety of interests, promoting an open minded and inclusive mindset. So, what is some meaningful advice that Shilpa has received and the lessons she's learned?
So this one piece of advice came from one of my European colleague with whom I had worked few years earlier. So he used to say that there are things which can go wrong. There are things which are not in your control. So what you can do at that time is just sit back, ease in yourself, have a cup of coffee. My next question to him was, is it going to solve the problem? He said, no, it's not going to solve the problem, but at least it's going to give you some easy, free time, and let the time take its own course to handle that situation. Sometimes it is best that you leave certain things to time. So that's how it's gonna be handled and managed. And I felt that was one of the best advice that I've received, and I've tried following that, and trust me, it has helped me as a person a lot. So one thing which I can definitely say is, there's no one else stopping you from achieving your goals other than you yourself. And I really mean it. I really mean it, because I have gone through, the experience that I've had for these many years. I may not be really experienced, or I'm not trying to preach, but this is a personal experience that I'm trying to say this when I say this. So the reason is, there are so many enablers these days available. We are not living in a very old 18th century where things were a little difficult, or we did not have access, but now we have access to so many so many mediums. There's so much of exposure, there's so many enablers that are available, and with all this, nothing should stop you. Basically, nothing should stop. And another thing which I feel, it's mostly for the women that I see. I've seen my mom, I've seen my aunt, I've seen my mother-in-law, I've seen so many of these women. What we do is, we get so engrossed in our daily activities of cooking, cleaning, dinner, kids, and all. Yes, it is required, it is definitely essential. But then what they do is, they somehow forget to live for themselves. There are so many of us who love to, who love to dance, who love to sing, who is a painter, who's probably a guitarist or a sitarist, but somehow we don't do it because we are so engrossed in our daily lives. And then at the end of the day, we say that, oh, there's no time. But then I think, if you are passionate about something, you will definitely prioritize it. So it's basically the prioritizing of those passions, or the hobbies that you would like to pursue. So it's something very simple, which I usually employ in my day-to-day life. I've been doing this for ages, and it has really helped me. What I do is, I it's just like our to-do list. I create a list of items that I have to do every day, and I maintain two of it, one for my office and one for my house or personal life. So I the night before, I just sit and jot down everything that I have to do the next day, and next day I just keep ticking whenever I finish it off. So that way, it gives me a view of how much I have to, what all I have done. Also gives me an immense sense of satisfaction that, yes, I have finished some of these important things today. And that way, it gives me enough time in the evening or in the morning to pursue what I want to do, like writing, or practicing some of my dance numbers. So I think this one way has actually helped me, and I would like all the women listeners over there to practice this. It is definitely going to help them. So next time, I think they can just go out and get back to their dance classes, their music classes, splash those colors on the canvas. Nothing will stop you.
Shilpa finds wisdom in patience during struggles, knowing time can bring clarity when we ease up on ourselves. Her story shows us that when we listen within and observe deeply, we can unlock our potential. As Helen Keller said, life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Shilpa embraces life's adventures and encourages us to do the same. I'm Bettina.
And I'm Nanora. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you'll join us again for our episode next week. We can be found at www.nriwoman.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just look for NRI Woman. If you or someone you know has a story to share, please get in touch with us at hello@nriwoman.com or tweet us at NRI_woman. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at NRI Woman Podcast. Please help us spread the stories of these amazing women by sharing it with your family and friends. You can find the details to connect with the guest in our show notes. NRI Woman episodes come out every Thursday, so make sure you subscribe. Until next time, keep learning, keep inspiring, and always be kind.